Hello, my name's Ed Frawley. My wife and I own Leerburg. And today, we're going to talk about one of the questions that we get almost every single day. We have a section on our website, and I say this every one of these Q&As. We have a section on our website where people can go in to the front of Leerburg.com, scroll down to the AskCindy section and write their question in. Now, the caveat here is you have to put your email there. The reason for that is not so we can spam you, we don't sell email addresses. The reason is that when you fill out a ticket, it's tied to your email address so that if you don't put enough information in a question and we have to ask for more details, we can get back to you that way. This is an example of that because Cindy had to go back to this person with some additional questions, and I'm going to cover it in the email because it's a good question. So it goes like this. My 4.5-month-old lab puppy has started barking during training. I don't think I accidentally cued this. It may be frustration or excitement, but I want to make sure it doesn't become a habit as it's not acceptable in the obedience ring. So obviously they do AKC obedience, which is cool. I do start each session with engagement. Do you have any suggestions? Well, Cindy had some questions, not suggestions, and I'll read them to you, and then we'll go on through that. We need to ask some questions. What do you do when he barks? Usually, whining takes place just before a dog barks. It's possible that your dog was whining during a training session and it was accidentally reinforced. Then, as his drive goes up, the whining builds into a bark. So, does your dog know to bark on cue? That was what Cindy asked. I've not noticed whining, and I have not trained the bark on cue. When he barks, I tell him no, and I do not mark until he's quiet and engaged. Okay, Cindy goes on and says, I would teach a bark on cue. That way, you can also go on to teach quiet. This is what we've always done with dogs that bark and have a barking problem. You would think that's the opposite way to do it. No, it's not. Teach your dog to bark on cue. And then, when he barks, say, no bark. So you can work into that. I'm not going to go through all the steps here, but that's the philosophy, and I can tell you from many, many, many dogs, it works. When one of our dogs or our puppy bark when they're excited or barks when trying to get our attention, we use my no marker as you do. But then we stop what we're doing and break the engagement from them until they're quiet. So what she means here is that if we're working with a dog and it starts to bark and we don't want it to bark and we are engaging with the dog, if they start to bark, we'll stop doing what we're doing and we may have to turn our back to them, keep them on leash, turn our back to them and pause until they quiet down, and then we'll turn around and work with them again. Dogs figure that out. Then she asks, do you see that he is doing this in a specific situation or a specific activity? Are you using food to reinforce your normal training, or have you introduced toys as well? Just try to get an idea of when he may be most likely to do this so I can help you figure out a solution. Sometimes a dog may get way too excited and go way over the top for a toy it loves, and it will bark to get it during the engagement phase. It may be a good idea then to train with less valuable toys or with food. And then the customer came back and says, I'll start to teach the bark on cue. I do use food and have not yet transitioned to a toy reward. The barking seems to start when I'm training the down. He does seem to get frustrated easily and he gets excited about our food rewards. I really appreciate your input. The customer then goes on to say, I want to add that breaking engagement until he's quiet is really a great idea. I'll definitely try that. Is there any other chance that he will outgrow this behavior as he matures and develop more self-control? We can't answer that question. It's one of those questions we can't answer. We can guess. We can say that without training, it may never stop. So it's worthwhile making an effort to stop it. And then the customer comes back and says, Cindy, I wanted to follow up on the barking issue that I've been having while training. Your advice was extremely helpful. The speak command, no bark command, has worked very well. Once he understood both commands, barking while working and training is no longer an issue with us. Thanks for your help. Then Cindy answers, that's great to hear. I love to get feedback whenever my suggestions help and didn't help. Thanks for letting us know. So again, if you have a question about your dog training and you don't have a local trainer that you can ask, or if you want our opinion on it, feel free to send a ticket out. We answer them all. Cindy answers them all. And then I come in and pick the nice ones and bring them in here. But we can give good advice on most of them. I want to talk a little bit about the AskCindy portal on the front page of Leerburg.com. You can go to that portal and ask Cindy, my wife, any question you want on dog training, on dog breeding, on health issues with your dog. Cindy and I have been in the dog business for many, many years. I'm 75 and I was training dogs pretty seriously for 60 years. Cindy has been training dogs seriously for 40, 45 years. She was a groomer for 20 years, worked in a vet for 20 years. If we can answer a question for you, she answers the questions every day. People can come in and post, and you don't have to be a customer of Leerburg. You do have to put your email in there, and the purpose for that, and I have to tell you this, is not so we can spam you with our email or sell your email address. We'd never, ever do that. The purpose for getting the email or the ticket with your email on it is that you can ask the question, Cindy will answer it. If she needs more information, she'll come back at you, and she has to be able to communicate with you. And if you come back a week later, a year later, 6 months later, and ask a question, Cindy will look your email address up to see what you have asked in the past. And if it's on the same dog, she can review her previous answers and advice and maybe expand on it. So that's why. But I don't know any other website on the internet for dog training where anybody can go in and ask any question they want and get an answer right away. If we're home, Cindy gets up in the morning, she goes out at 5 o'clock, takes care of our horses, and comes back in and answers her Q&As that she's got for the morning. What I do is I pick the good ones and put them into videos like this. We have a lot of them. I just started putting them into videos after doing the Ask Cindy for many, many years. We've got like 3,700 of them in a database that's searchable, that you can go and put quotation marks around what you want to search on, and you'll get a more specific answer. We don't put every question in our database. There's thousands that don't go in there. We try and pick the best ones and put them in there. So there's 3,700 good ones there. So if you have a question, go to the Ask Cindy portal. If you want the best dog training equipment I think that you can find anywhere, we have it. We don't sell junk. We don't sell cheap stuff just because it's cheap. We only sell things that Cindy and I would use. And a number of the things that we sell, we have people that make them for us. We have a whole family of Amish harness makers that all they do is our leather work, and they've done it now for over 25 years. If you like the content in these Q&As, we have over 1,500 free videos on our website, in addition to a number of online courses and streaming videos that we sell by some of the top trainers really in the United States and really in the world.